Around 5:15 a.m., a New Year's party was going down on the rooftop of Bhagwati Heights. Jahnvi Kukreja, 19, and her friends Dia and Shri were hanging out with their mutual crew, drinking, chilling, just having a good time. This party was organized by Yash Aja, a resident of Bhagwati Heights, for his friends on the rooftop. Everyone seemed happy, dancing, singing, playing games, talking, clicking photos. Slowly, some friends left to attend other parties. And because it got super late, a few friends crashed at Yash's second-floor apartment. The ones who stayed behind were now drunk, dancing, swaying, and gossiping. About 2 hours later, at 5:15 a.m., a woman who lived in the same building came out of her flat to walk her dog. When she reached the ground floor, she saw something that made her scream, a girl's body, covered in blood, lying there. Whose body was it? And what did it have to do with that party? To find out, let's go back a few hours before this happened. December 31st, 2020, 7:30 p.m. 19-year-old Jahnvi Kukreja was getting ready to celebrate her father Prakash Kukreja's birthday. Because of the pandemic that had spread across the country, the government had imposed restrictions. So everyone decided to celebrate Prakash Kukreja's birthday at home. At 8 p.m. sharp, Prakash Kukreja cut the cake in front of his family. He fed his two daughters, Jahnvi and Manya, first. The whole family celebrated together and recorded those moments on camera. 2 hours later, at 10 p.m., Jahnvi's friends, 19-year-old Dia Padalkar and 21-year-old Shri Danik, came to Jahnvi's house. They wished Jahnvi's dad a happy birthday, and then Jahnvi fed them cake as well. Since the new year was about to start in 2 hours, their mutual friend Yash Aja had organized a party at his place. Yash's house was in Bhagwati Heights, Khar, Mumbai, just an 8-minute drive from Jahnvi's house. So Shri and Dia started asking Jahnvi to come to the party. Jahnvi had exams, so she refused at first. But her friends insisted, and eventually, she agreed. However, when she asked her dad for permission to go to the party, he straight up said no because of the restrictions on public gatherings during the pandemic. But when Shri and Dia convinced him that only 12 to 15 friends would be at the party and that Yash's house was nearby, he finally agreed to let Jahnvi go. But before she left, he told all the kids, don't be too late coming back, and if it does get late, it's better to stay there overnight and come home in the morning. After agreeing to all those conditions, Jahnvi, Shri, and Dia left for the party and got there by 11:30 p.m. About 2 hours later, at 1:30 a.m., Prakash called Jahnvi. But her phone was busy. He figured she'd probably come back in the morning. So the Kukreja family went to sleep, feeling relaxed. But dark clouds were hovering over this happy family's peaceful sleep, about to bring a storm that would destroy all their happiness and their lives as soon as they opened their eyes. January 1st, 2021, 5:10 a.m. Around 5 a.m., Prakash's phone suddenly started ringing loudly. He had gone to bed late, so his eyes were still heavy. Rubbing his sleepy eyes, he looked at the screen and saw that the call was from his neighbor Samir Padalkar, the father of Dia, Jahnvi's childhood friend. A slight smile appeared on Prakash's face, and he picked up the call. But the very next second, that smile was gone. The voice on the other end was scared and panicked. Samir Padalkar just said, "Prakash, come to Khar police station right away. Jahnvi's been in an accident." Hearing this, the phone slipped from Prakash's hand and fell to the ground. The daughter he had sent off just hours ago to a New Year's party, the news of her accident made his limbs go weak. His heart started racing, and Jahnvi's face kept flashing before his eyes. With great difficulty, he pulled himself together and told his wife Nidhi. What that kind of news does to a parent's heart, you can't put it into words. Prakash somehow gathered his courage, left the house without wasting any time, and went straight to Khar police station. As soon as he entered the police station, his eyes desperately started searching for his daughter Jahnvi everywhere. Praying for her safety, he walked inside, and in just one moment, his whole world collapsed. The police officer told him, "Your daughter Jahnvi is no longer in this world." As soon as those words hit his ears, all his strength left his body. He collapsed right there in shock. Until that moment, everyone thought it was an accident. But in reality, there were many deep secrets hidden behind Jahnvi's death, secrets locked in a box of lies and thrown from a height so the truth could never come back. Soccer Cruise, Mumbai. Prakash Kukreja lived in Sacre-Cruz, Mumbai, and worked at a shoe company. His wife Jahnvi Kukreja worked at a private company in Mumbai. The Kukreja family was very happy with their lives, blessed with money and happiness. They wanted to see their two daughters, older daughter Jahnvi and younger daughter Manya, succeed in life. Jahnvi was studying psychology at Jahnvi College in Mumbai. She planned to complete her graduation and then do her master's in Australia. Not only was Jahnvi good at studies, but she was also ahead in extracurricular activities. Since childhood, she was a caring and helpful person. She ran the most successful blood donation drive among kids her age and was always ready to help others. Because of that passion, right after finishing 10th grade, she joined the Rotary Club and became a club service director at a very young age. Thanks to her dependable and no-nonsense personality, being a bubbly and friendly person, Jahnvi had many friends. But her strongest bond was with her neighbor and childhood friend, Dia. Their friendship was so deep that both families treated each other like their own. That friendship and Jahnvi's visionary mind took a new turn during the pandemic in June 2020. Thinking of turning her baking hobby into a business, they started Pretty Bake by D and J, D for Dia, J for Jahnvi. Learning recipes from YouTube, they launched a menu of cookies and brownies. Their creative captions and attractive packaging, with a cute handwritten note saying "From our oven to your doorstep," won customers' hearts during that negative time. Orders slowly started increasing. After getting a good response during Diwali, they plan to become more active on social media during Christmas and New Year to give their business a boost. But unfortunately, before those plans could be executed, everything stopped in November. Updates on Instagram stopped coming. According to friends, orders dropped after Diwali, so they had to shut down the business. Even though the business ended, Dia and Jahnvi's friendship was still just as strong. In a video on YouTube, Jahnvi is seen dancing and laughing carefree. But no one knew that this cheerful laughter would turn into the silence of death just a few months later, a painful twist that her family probably never even imagined in their worst nightmares. January 1, 2021, Bugvati Heights, 3:00 a.m. After an emergency call from a resident of Bugvati Heights, the police reached the crime scene and informed the forensic team. During questioning, the resident said that a party had been going on all night on the building's rooftop, organized by Yash Aja, who lived on the second floor. The surprising thing was, the party was still going on, and all the kids there were so drunk they couldn't even speak properly. When the police called Yash Aja to identify the body, he confirmed that the body was none other than Jahnvi Kukreja's. As soon as the body was identified, the forensic team started their work. And as they moved floor by floor, the evidence began to tell a terrifying story. From the 5th floor down to the 2nd floor, bloodstains were scattered on stairs, railings, and grills. On this bloody path, broken bangles here, earrings there, sandals, and clumps of Jahnvi's hair. The most blood was on the 2nd floor stairs. Moving forward with the investigation, police searched Yash Aja's 2nd floor flat. They seized blood-soaked bedsheets and pillows. After collecting all the necessary evidence, Jahnvi's body was sent to KB Babha Municipal General Hospital in West Bandra for a post-mortem. To uncover the truth of that horrific night, police asked Yash for details of everyone who came to the party and called them to Car police station immediately to record their statements. 5:10 a.m., Dia's father's call destroyed the Kukreja family's world. When Prakash Kukreja reached the police station and heard the news of his daughter's death, he couldn't handle the shock and fainted. They splashed water on him to bring him back to consciousness. But accepting this horrifying reality was impossible for him. Somehow gathering himself, Prakash called his wife Jahnvi. Hearing the news of her daughter's death, Jahnvi screamed. Losing a daughter who had just begun to live, it's nothing less than a curse for any parent. With this heavy grief in their chests, both parents went to KB Babha Hospital for body identification so the post-mortem could begin. But the moment they saw the condition of their daughter's body, all their grief turned into rage. They refused to believe Jahnvi's death was an accident and told the police, "Our daughter wasn't in an accident, she was murdered." The courtyard where just yesterday their daughter's laughter and voice echoed, today, only her dead body lay there, with a terrifying silence all around. With extremely heavy hearts and broken spirits, Jahnvi's parents performed her last rites. After bidding their daughter goodbye forever, a condolence meet was organized at Car Gymkhana at 6 p.m. Many people, with tearful eyes, gave their final tribute to Jahnvi. Until then, everyone's focus was on the grief of losing Jahnvi. But when the post-mortem report came out, reading it filled everyone with anger, and their suspicion turned into certainty. Jahnvi's death was no accident. The autopsy report gave a new direction to the case. On Jahnvi's skull, there were marks of an attack with a sharp object, as if someone had smashed her head with full force against a railing or a wall. Not only that, a total of 48 injuries were recorded on her body. There were injury marks around her thighs and hips, indicating the struggle was intense. According to forensic estimation, she was brutally attacked between 1:30 and 2 a.m., and finally died due to a skull fracture. But one thing was clear, there were no signs of sexual assault on Jahnvi's body. This whole report made it clear that it wasn't an accidental fall, but a planned or rage-driven homicidal attack. Now, Jahnvi's parents had only one goal, to get justice for their daughter and strict punishment for whoever did this. But to get to the truth, it was important to understand what exactly happened that night. And the best answers could probably come from Dia and Shri, because they were the ones who took Jahnvi to the party and were with her the whole time. The suspicion begins. While Jahnvi's parents were thinking of talking to Dia, Prakash remembered something from Dia's father's last call. When Dia's father had called at 5:10 a.m. on January 1st, he had said that both Dia and Jahnvi had been in an accident. His daughter Dia was admitted to Hinduja Hospital, while Jahnvi was admitted to Babha Hospital. Right there, a small thing planted a seed of doubt in Prakash's mind. If both were part of the same accident at the same place, why were they admitted to two different hospitals? And most importantly, why didn't Dia call them herself to inform them? Another unsettling fact, the call from Dia's father came almost 2.5 hours after Jahnvi's death. Seeing so many red flags together, Nidhi got a feeling that something was being hidden somewhere. Maybe these kids knew the truth of that night, and maybe Dia's parents were trying to protect her. With this suspicion, Nidhi went straight to the police station and filed an FIR against Dia and Shri for the murder of her daughter. The investigation. As soon as the FIR was filed, police started investigating immediately. They called everyone who was at the party, interrogated them, cross-checked statements, and seized everyone's phones for forensic analysis to extract the truth from chats, calls, and location data. Then police reached the building's watchman, but he said he was sleeping at the time of the incident and didn't see anything unusual. Yashaj's grandparents, who lived in the same building, also said they went to sleep early and didn't hear any screaming, arguing, or commotion. But in the middle of the investigation, another big problem came up. The place where the actual incident happened, there were only stairs, and no CCTV cameras on those stairs. The whole building had only 2 cameras, one on the rooftop, 4th floor, and one on the ground floor exit gate. So police had only these 2 footages to get to the truth. When the rooftop CCTV was checked, at 1:30 a.m., Jahnvi was seen leaving the party. After that, there was a noticeable gap in the footage. Then at 5:15 a.m., Shri was seen exiting the building. But here, one detail caught everyone's attention: Shri's shirt was torn, and there were clear bloodstains on it. Seeing this, police started cross-questioning the party attendees again. Then they found out, on the rooftop, there was an argument between Jahnvi, Dia, and Shri over something. After that, all 3 headed towards the stairs. Now, the narrative of the case started taking a clear direction. Finally, on January 2, 2021, police took Dia and Shri into custody. Shri had serious injuries on his ribs and was admitted to the hospital, so a constable was posted outside his room. Police were waiting for his medical clearance to formally interrogate him. Meanwhile, the investigation team reached Hinduja Hospital, where Dia was admitted due to a lip injury. She was questioned right inside the hospital. And Dia's answer shocked everyone. She said she and Shri had consumed marijuana at the party, so she didn't remember what happened to Jahnvi at all. Now this statement complicated the investigation further. Was it really the intoxication that caused memory loss? Or was it a carefully crafted story of memory loss? What was the truth? Police had to prove it with evidence. Around this time, a parallel team of police started digging into Shri Jack Donak's background. Records showed that 2 years earlier, a case of assault was registered against him with a taxi driver, and a year earlier, with a pawn shop vendor. Both complaints showed Shree's impulsive and violent behavior. Both accused kept denying their involvement. But based on circumstantial evidence, after 13 days of police custody, on January 14, 2021, a Mumbai local court sent Shree and Dia to judicial custody. Shree was transferred to Taloja Central Jail, while Dia was sent to Baikula Women's Prison. By now, police had studied in detail the statements of 14 friends present at the party. Linking those statements with crime scene observations and forensic evidence, investigators started reconstructing a timeline of that night, and slowly, that New Year's Eve, which began with a party, started revealing its real and brutal truth. The full story of that night. At this New Year's party, everyone gradually got busy in their own groups. Some were into music and drinks, some couples were having private moments. Meanwhile, in the darkest corner of the rooftop, Shree and Jahnvi were spending time together. A girl at the party had even seen them cozying up there. After a while, a drunk Dia stumbled to the projector set up on the rooftop and laid down on a mattress there. Meanwhile, one of Jahnvi's friends started vomiting because of too much alcohol. To help him, Jahnvi took him to the washroom. At around 12:45 a.m., when Jahnvi returned to the rooftop, she saw a scene that shook her world. Shree was lying next to Dia, and the two were getting intimate. Seeing her 3-year relationship shatter before her eyes, Jahnvi went into shock. She couldn't accept that her boyfriend and her childhood friend were betraying her like this. She lost her cool. In a mix of anger and shock, she started shouting at both of them, and soon a heated argument broke out among the three. Tired of the argument, Dia went down from the rooftop and into Yash's flat on the second floor. Meanwhile, in anger, Jahnvi yanked out the wire of her phone connected to the projector and started calling a friend. At around 1:25 a.m., Yash's friend Karishma came down from the 4th floor to the 2nd floor to use the washroom in Yash's flat. There she saw Dia lying in the bedroom. Around 1:30 a.m., Jahnvi called her friend Parnika. First, she wished her a Happy New Year. But within a few minutes, she started crying on the call. Parnika panicked and asked what happened. Then Jahnvi told her that despite being in a relationship with her, Shree was trying to get physically close with her childhood friend Dia, and that was completely unacceptable to her. But at the same time, she said she didn't want to lose Shree, nor Dia. After saying this, Jahnvi suddenly hung up. At that moment, she was going through intense emotional turmoil. On one hand, she wanted to end the whole situation. On the other hand, even after such a big mistake, she didn't want to lose both of them from her life. Maybe that's why she decided to talk face to face with both of them to sort things out and bring things back to normal. The murder. Their conversation started near the stairs on the 5th floor of Bhagwati Heights. But the conversation that began for resolution soon turned into an argument again. And before anyone knew it, the situation escalated so much that it turned into a physical fight. And then what happened, no one had imagined. Shree and Dia together started beating up Jahnvi. Jahnvi tried her best to defend herself, pushing them, hitting them back. In this intense scuffle, Dia got a deep cut on her lip and started bleeding from her mouth, and Shree also got a sharp impact on his ribs. But this was the moment when the situation became even more dangerous. Shree's violent nature was fully triggered. In a state of rage and loss of control, he grabbed Jahnvi's head and repeatedly smashed it hard against the wall, railing, and grill near the stairs. With every blow, Jahnvi's head kept hitting, and within seconds, blood started flowing from her head. But the brutality didn't stop there. Both Shree and Dia, while beating Jahnvi, dragged her all the way to the 2nd floor. They had beaten her so badly that a clump of hair had been torn from her head. With the intention of completely finishing her, they pushed Jahnvi from the 2nd floor stairs straight down towards the ground floor. When she hit the ground, her body was still writhing in pain. But within moments, her breath stopped forever. That New Year's night, when everyone was welcoming the new year, became the last night of Jahnvi's life. After the murder. After killing Jahnvi, a drunk Dia went back to Yash's flat on the same floor and slept. Shri, panicking, tried to get away. At 2:07 a.m., he called his friend Puram and said he was coming to his place. Then Shri walked past Jahnvi's body and straight out of the building. In the CCTV footage, he is seen exiting the building at 5:15 a.m., wearing a torn white shirt stained with blood. After murdering Jahnvi, Shri was so out of it that in his hurry, he even forgot to pick up his Activa scooter parked in Bugvati Heights parking lot. 8 minutes later, at 2:23 a.m., he called Puram again and asked him to pick him up. But Puram refused to come. Then Shri took a taxi and reached Puram's house. There, he first changed his shirt, then went with Puram to Shan Hospital for treatment of his injuries. He told the doctors the injury happened in a fight. Meanwhile, around 2:15 a.m., Yash returned to his flat with some friends. As soon as he entered, he saw Dia lying on the bed. He called out to her, she turned around and looked at him, scared. Then Yash noticed the deep cut on her lip and the blood-stained pillow on the bed. When Yash and his friends asked Dia how she got hurt, she just said in a scared voice that she didn't remember how she got the injury. Since she was drunk, the friends started tending to her wound. Now it was late night, and Yash's friend Karishma needed to go home, so Yash accompanied her down in the elevator. But as soon as the elevator door opened and they stepped out, a resident of Bugvati Heights pointed a finger and said, "There's a girl's dead body lying here." Hearing this, Yash looked in that direction and recognized Jahnvi's body on the ground. His limbs went weak. For a moment, his heart and mind went blank, and his feet automatically stepped back. Meanwhile, before the police could arrive, Dia's parents whisked her away from there. At around 2:45 a.m., Dia was admitted to Hinduja Hospital, which was later recorded on CCTV footage as well. The strangest thing was that by that time, Dia's parents already knew Jahnvi was dead. Still, almost 2.5 hours later, at 5:10 a.m., they called Jahnvi's parents and said that Jahnvi and Dia had met with an accident and both were admitted to different hospitals. The question here is, who gets someone admitted to a hospital for just a lip injury? Unless you need to cook up a story to hide the truth. After brutally murdering Jahnvi, both accused tried every possible way to escape. But because of Jahnvi's mother Nidhi's sharp suspicion and speed, Dia and Shri were soon arrested. But the case wasn't over yet. So far, police only had circumstantial evidence, and on the basis of that evidence, they had to get Shri and Dia convicted in court. Meanwhile, both accused kept claiming their innocence. Dia said she didn't do anything and didn't remember anything from that night. Shri said someone attacked him from behind, which is why he got so injured. But amidst all these lies and defenses, one small negligence by the police was going to heavily impact Jahnvi's parents' fight for justice. The email, mockery from Dia. After completing all findings and investigation, in March 2021, police filed the charge sheet in court. But during this time, both accused Dia and Shri kept applying for bail. The first time, their bail was rejected. But in June 2021, the Sessions Court granted bail to Dia. As soon as she got bail, Dia played a smart game, to show her innocence to the world, and under that cover, to mock Jahnvi's parents, because she knew this email would definitely reach them. That email wasn't an apology, it was a carefully crafted message. Dia wrote, "I miss you so much. This world feels so bad without you. People are very mean and say terrible things. I would never hurt you. Half of me is gone with you. It hurts me so much to think that people say I hurt you, that it was my fault. I wouldn't even touch a hair on your head. I want you to be happy wherever you are." At first glance, this might look like an emotional message. But Dia saying "I wouldn't even touch a hair on your head," that wasn't just a coincidence. It was intentional mockery. According to research published in the Polish Psychological Bulletin and referenced in A Mind of Her Own by psychologist N. Campbell, the pattern of aggression in men and women is often different. Men target the head or torso with direct strikes. Women in aggression often pull hair, because it allows them to control the opponent's movement without too much physical force. And in this case, investigators had found torn clumps of Jahnvi's hair on different floors of the crime scene. That's why the special public prosecutor had argued in court that under the influence of alcohol, Dia had attacked Jahnvi by pulling her hair. And maybe that's why in this email sent after getting bail, Dia deliberately wrote that line. From the prosecution's perspective, this wasn't just a sentence, it was a cold mockery of Jahnvi's parents and of the truth of that dark night. Nidhi's fight for justice. Seeing one of the culprits of her daughter's death get freedom so openly, Jahnvi's mother Nidhi wasn't going to sit quietly. To get justice for her daughter, she filed a plea in court seeking permission to assist the prosecutor in the case. After years of investigation and trial, the court ruled that Sri Jagdhankar was guilty of murdering Jahnvi Kukreja and sentenced him to life in prison. However, the second accused, Dia Padalkar, was acquitted because the court said there wasn't enough evidence to prove her involvement beyond a reasonable doubt. Jahnvi's family later appealed against Dia Padalkar's acquittal in the Bombay High Court.